welcome back to the Kelderock Show. Today we are starting a three-part episode. And why is it three parts? Because this game is a trilogy. The game is a trilogy. And you probably read the title of it, so you probably know where we're going with it. But for those who didn't want to read the title and just clicked on anyway, this game, Epic Games, partnered up with Microsoft, bring you a new IP at the time when the Xbox 360 was first coming out, Gears of War. Gears of War, only having minimal things to do, I will say. It only has a versus mode and a campaign mode. The versus mode, unfortunately, debunked online because Xbox 360 Online is, in fact, gone. And you can still do local one-on-one matches, though. I'm not going to go too deep into that just because of the fact that it's gone. It's no more. It's finito, done. So, we're going to jump into the single-player campaign. You see there that they have a few different difficulties. One issue that we ran into while trying to record this gameplay is the fact that the loading takes forever. It is a slow game. And that could just be from the hardware, so we're not going to try to let that affect it too much on its rating. But you see here also, it doesn't even render when it's finished loading too. So it definitely has a lot of issues here with power for it on the 360. It seems like it's a game that's really tough for it. On top of that, though, you see here that we actually do get a very good cinematic view. Like, you know, there's a really good story that goes along with it. We're not going to spoil too much. The only thing we will say is you are this character, Marcus Phoenix, here. And you get rescued out of prison. And you see here, I just kind of pause to see if we can skip. You can't skip the cutscenes, unfortunately, but I won't bore you with them. So we're going to go through with it here. And you see that, you know, they actually do flush out this world. You know, it's a post-apocalyptic world invaded by underground people called the Locusts. And basically, humanity needs your help. Let's get into the game. As you can see in the beginning, I'm kind of struggling. Now, you are allowed to cover, and you think like, oh, left trigger, right trigger, like one of those triggers must be cover, right? Nope. It is the A button. A, when you're near it, is to get to a wall. Now, there's a little bit of an issue, too. Holding down A is how you do your sprint as well. So, A button definitely does a lot here for the game. So, the movement is very interesting with the A button kind of doing everything. You tap A to roll, you hold A to sprint, and you hit A to get to a cover. Now, when you're in cover, you hold the left trigger, and you pull out the reticle, and you can aim. Aiming is not the easiest, I will say that, as you can tell from the gameplay here. Not that easy. On top of that, right trigger, shoot, that's a good button. Now, there's one thing you notice there if you look at the top. There's a bar when you reload. Actually, we'll come back to the bar. Let's talk about the melee, because on the Lancer here, you have a chainsaw, and we're going to have to blur this out for YouTube, but hold B to melee. Now, if you're holding a regular gun, you punch them, but with the Lancer, you actually get to chainsaw them, and you move them around here. Now, every once in a while, you see the Y button pop up, and it gives you kind of like, oh, go to this objective, like, oh, here's what you're up to now, and kind of pop those out. So, those are that. Now, let's go back to the reload real quick. Reloading is a very interesting method here. So when you're trying to reload, you hit your right bumper. Now you'll see a bar go underneath it, and when the right bumper is under like the bright white area, you get an active reload, which actually does a good gives you a damage boost to your weapon. Now if you hit it in like the slightly gray area, you get just a quick reload, no damage boost. If you hit it anywhere outside of that area, your gun is jammed, and it's really going to be in a bad situation for a little bit. Now, that can be a good thing and a bad thing if you miss. If your timing is really good on the reloads, that is such a huge win for you. It helps you out so much. But if it doesn't, you know, if your reloads aren't, if you're not good on the timing, it definitely hurts. It would just be beneficial to wait. Now, little other side buttons, you know, like I said, Y button kind of shows you where some teammates are, and then you hold the left bumper and you can see everyone and gives you like a tap. Because one of the notes too that you can have is that you can pick up your teammates, and they will be able, and you know that's how you get them back up. Now on top of that, you know, you hold two weapons, a pistol and some grenades, and me thinking, you know, since we already know the Y button is focus, you had to hit the D-pad, actually. The D-pad in any direction to switch to whichever weapon you need. It's not the most intuitive, not the greatest, but it is convenient. It's very convenient. And then last but not least, in terms of controls, just honestly, it's very stiff, kind of like the running animation is not the greatest. It's very, very rough to move around and just, you know, doesn't control well. HUD-wise, there's really not much to it. You don't have a health bar. The more shots you take, you see the Gears of War logo fill in your screen. I will have a death coming up, so you'll see like the whole thing fills up. So you just, the whole thing fills in, and the moment that fills in, unless you're playing with someone, you're dead. If you're playing with someone, you drop like the CPUs do, and you can be picked up by your computer or by your co-op partner. But yes, so the Gears of War logo, you just fall over, done. Move on. Again with the loading, but again, I'm not going to hurt him. So, in terms of that, I mean, the hub is pretty nice, the gameplay is pretty smooth, and everything else seems pretty nice. But now, like, we got to talk about more negative things. Between just the verses and the campaign, I mean, there's not much to do. This is it. Campaign or one-on-one verses, and that's not, you know, that's not really fun. I wish they added a little more, but that's okay. Again, the controls, like, as I went over the button layout, like, it's really not the easiest. The reticles are not the coolest. They're really Now, one of the things I really want to talk about though, is the gore in this game. Like, we talk about how Mortal Kombat gets gory. This game is really freaking gory. Like, if you look at what they do, blood splatters everywhere. And I mean actually everywhere. It is just really crazy how much blood comes out of this game. The chainsaw I'm going to have to blur, so I've done it twice in the video. I don't know if we'll keep the second one, but I made sure to blur out the chainsaw because that's just too gory apparent for YouTube. I was reading on that. But this game is gory, gory, gory. I wish there was more to talk about, though, because this game actually really is cool. This game really is fun. But, like, just, there's not too much to do. That's, like, really just one of the biggest downfalls for the first Gears of War game. Because Versus is already gone. The Xbox Live server is gone. And then all you have is campaign. And then once you beat the campaign, that's it. The game's over. Like, you don't really get to experience more. Like, I don't want to spoil the story, so I'm not going to talk about the story elements. But, like, everyone knows about the characters, Cole, Baird, Marcus, Dom. Like, you don't really get to do much else with these guys. Like, once the story wraps up, you defeat the main boss of this game for the Locust. That's it. That's it. You're done. So, I wish I could give this a higher rating, but unfortunately, I cannot. I'm going to have to give this a 6 out of 10, just because for what it was at the time, it was great, but for what it is, you know, also now, it unfortunately does not hold up. There's just not much to do. You really just kind of are at the whim of the campaign, and that's really it. And it really is sad that that's what it is, but you know what? That's what we got to do. For what Microsoft was trying to do here, they definitely got a series, and we're going to continue on this journey in the next video.
some ammo. Follow me!
What the hell, man? Those holes could pop up anywhere!
You'd think we would have figured out some kind of goddamn defense by now.
Looks like we need to split up. Phoenix, you and Carmine will go right. Dom and I will go left.
Yes, sir.
Hostiles!
I'm on it! Come get me. Behind us! Next!
There's another nest around the corner!
With a spotter, on the right!
Take him out first.
Back in your hole!
We've got locusts coming through! Let's move!
Someone get on that troika. Good job, men. Now let's go find that resonator. Move out.
Locust reinforcements!
Control, this is Delta Squad. Any word from Alpha?